Alright guys, welcome to another edition of the Spreads. I am 1-0, tied for the league here. The Riots came out huge last week, huh? 109 points. Congratulations, edging out Kiss the Baby by 3/10 of a point for the $15 victory there. Very nice, Brian. I saw the suggestion by Nate that the league, whatever, the division winners from each year pick the division name. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Actually, I like it. We'll put it to a league vote, and hopefully we'll have a new division names next week. I'm behind it, and I got my vote, and we'll see what the rest of the league thinks. Anyway, moving on to the spreads. All right. I don't know how these prognostications here work on this website, but the first game I was looking at was Suck My Bird Season 2 versus Kiss the Baby, which is predicted to be a blowout in Kiss the Baby's favor. I don't know about all that, personally. I'm looking at it. Vic's got a good matchup. Peyton Manning's got a good matchup. I'll give the edge to Peyton Manning, all right? Sure. But I don't even know if they do, actually. No, they give Michael Vick the edge in this particular scenario here, which I think is ridiculous, and I'll be rooting against Vic. And I can't believe, Megan, you picked up Michael Vick. Thought you were a dog lover, girl. Now you're rooting for a poster child for animal abuse in this country. Anyway, moving on. Running backs wise, Ray Rice and Noshawn Moreno versus Cedric Benson and Ronnie Brown. Yeah, I'll take Kiss the Baby for sure. And then receivers wise, Reggie Wayne is poised for a big week. Derek Mason is always dangerous. And looks like you're trotting out Brent Selleck and Jeremy Shockey, which I am shocked by. Shockey's really not the kind of guy you want to throw in there. But taking a look at your bench, I don't know. I'd say Clinton Portis is worth a look better than fucking Jeremy Shockey. But I guess that's what you think about 49ers, huh? That being said, Ocho, Mike Wallace, and Pierre Garcon are a solid receiving core. Vernon Davis is a beast. He'll get his work done. I do see Kiss the Baby winning this one. Maybe not by 30 points like the computer says, but should be winning it without too many problems. Moving on, 29 Crash versus the Sink Pissa. Yeah. I just saw Nate's logo that he put up. For all you guys that don't know, you can put up a logo for your team, and Nate's got a pretty funny one right there. It does kind of look like him, actually. Yeah, this is projected to be one of the closest games of the week. I'm looking here at Aaron Rodgers versus Carson Palmer. I think Rodgers is just going to destroy that Buffalo D, and the 17-point projection for him is ridiculous. It should be more like 30. Carson Palmer against Buffalo should not have a higher rating than Aaron Rodgers Carson Palmer against Baltimore shouldn't have a higher rating than Aaron Rodgers against Buffalo. So I don't know where these guys get their shit, especially since Palmer's going to be playing in the rain. Then the running backs there, Reggie Bush and Matt Forte. Forte did big work last week, but he's going to have his work cut out for him at Dallas this week. Tim Hightower is not that pretty either, but LaShawn McCoy should do real well at Detroit. And Hightower could get a couple touchdowns at Atlanta if he gets the goal line looks, which he should. 29 Crash does have a nice receiving core. I don't know what Tate from New England is doing in there. I guess he's just a flyer. But Miles Austin is the goods. Austin Collie will get the ball. Jermichael Finley looks like the real deal. But Andre Johnson, Mark Clayton. Oh, and again, a 2 tight end set going in. Yeah, I like your tight ends, Nate. I do. But I think that their ceilings are just so much lower than good wide receivers. And I'm going to have to give your position players pretty much a wash. No superstars except for Andre Johnson out there and Miles Austin, which will sort of cancel each other out. And basically at this point, 29 Crash got a little edge with Aaron Rodgers at QB. Moving on to the defense, Pats at the Jets could provide dividends. Jets against New England could also provide dividends. I like Vilma a little bit better than Pete Chung, although Chung did do well last week. Kickers wise, who knows how to predict that shit. I'm going to have to give a slight edge to 29 Crash here against the Sink Pisser Nate. Moving on, West Coast Enlightenment versus the newly anointed Overseas Stein. That's Ryan Campbell playing around with his team name. Yeah, Campbell's trotting out Flacco, who I like, Gore, Harrison, all good plays this week. Anquan Bolden looks good. Donald Driver will get his work done. Jacoby Jones could do something. He had a bunch of targets last week. So Campbell's team is throwing out a bunch of guys that aren't really superstars, but are all going to get some sort of action, including Zach Miller. Palomalo is a decent defensive pickup, but not the greatest. Enlightenment's got Matt Schaub, who I like this week a lot to break out of his shell. You know, is doing his Trent Dilfer impersonation last week. Adai, who I can't stand, will probably continue his like 4-yard per carry or less average, but will get the rock against the Giants. Matthews looks good, and he should tear up Jacksonville. Brandon Jackson, making his first start, will look good against Buffalo, undermanned without Paul Paslusny. Randy Moss is a beast. I don't care if Darrelle Revis is out there. They'll find a way to get Randy Moss the ball over the top. Sims Walker needs to prove he can do something a little bit better than he did last week. We'll see if he can. I like Jason Witten a lot this week against a slow Chicago linebacking core. I got to give the edge to the West Coast Enlightenment here, just like the computer does. We'll go West Coast with Patrick Willis, the Beast, by 10 points here. This one's virtually a lock. Moving on, prime time versus the Riots. They got this game also predicted to be a huge blowout. Bad matchup for Riots. I'm sorry, bad matchup for prime time. Cutler at Dallas. Eesh, terrible matchup. I don't see him even coming close to the 20 points that they got him predicted for. D'Angelo should tear the shit out of Tampa Bay. Chris Johnson should do really well, even if he was playing against Pittsburgh. Hines Ward is solid, and that Tennessee pass defense is no good. Steve Smith from the Giants will get some work against that Indy secondary that's weak. Eddie Royal, nice flyer, good player. I don't know if he's going to get the kind of looks he did last week. Just don't know what to expect from that team. And Carlson is a good flyer at tight end. Could do a little damage, but don't count on too much there. Riots trotting out a pretty damn good lineup here with Tony Romo, Michael Turner, Arian, the real deal, Foster, Brandon Marshall, Deshaun Jackson, Wes Welker, and then Chris Cooley's a very solid tight end. I don't see any way that Primetime wins this game at all. One of these guys is going to go to 1-1, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Porter. Now, Solid Snakes versus Jersey. This is one in my division. I actually really like both of these teams. Jersey's doing what he can with his QB situation and pulling out my 49ers starting quarterback here, Alex Smith. I hope he does great. I don't hold too much hope that he will. Steven Jackson should have a field day against Oakland. Rashard Mendenhall will do some work against Tennessee, but we'll temper our expectations. And then the receiving core of Jennings, Colston, and Harvin is good. Keller's a good tight end, but not great. Jersey's going to put up a respectable score, but it might just be too much to be dealing with Maurice Jones-Drew, Javid Best, Larry Fitzgerald, Santana Moss, and Legadou Nanese, who had a nice long catch last week. I'm not so sure he gets into the end zone this week, but he'll be involved in the passing game. Is a fast, big target, good red zone guy. Could get a couple looks in the red zone. I actually see this game much tighter than the computer does. It's going to be tough for Jersey to overcome his QB situation, especially with Phil Rivers playing a dog meat team in Jacksonville. But I'm only going to pick the Snakes here by a few points. I think this is going to be a real dogfight. And then the Kosher Sausages, that's my squad versus the High Steppin' Freak, projected to be the highest scoring game of the week. Yeah, Brady versus Breeze. Okay, let's call that a wash. Brady is at the Jets, and Breeze is at the Niners, so a much better matchup for Breeze. Um, Running backs wise, CJ Spiller ain't gonna do shit for you, Finn. Not gonna do anything. I'm telling you, man. At Green Bay, no way. They got him projected for 12 points because they think he's gonna catch a touchdown. I don't think so. I think Buffalo is gonna be in trouble from the get-go. Cadillac against Carolina is a good matchup. Peterson is always a beast. Um, and so you are going to get some production out of that. I love my Bradshaw and Jamal Charles combo here. Two big play guys, catch a lot of passes. But Finn, you got a lot of trouble here with receivers, comparatively speaking. Roddy White, Calvin Johnson, Steve Smith, and Antonio Gates. I will give myself a huge edge over Berrien, Owens, Tony G, and Spiller, let's say. It would be in that bracket. It's weird how they have everything boxed up here on the website. Kickers, I don't know how to do. I'm not sure. Oh, Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews, very good play against Buffalo. Nice pickup, Finn. I like that play. Could get a couple more sacks. Definitely a few tackles. Curtis Lofton is just, I'm hoping he's going to get me maybe 7 to 10 solo tackles just to hold down that position. I love my Eagles D playing against Detroit. Ravens D at Cincy. Can get scored on, but looked really stalwart. I don't know. I think my receivers are just going to be a little too much. If Calvin can just hold on and do 80% of what he would have done with a real quarterback this week, I'm looking at a nice 2-0 start. Anyway, guys, I will post up a little something about the league. The division name proposition there. Good luck to everybody except for Mike Finn. And also, we're going out to a local bar. I'm going to go to Jersey's bar on Monday night to watch my Niners play the Saints. Anybody wants to come join, please do. A few of the guys from my softball team might show up also. And one of them happens to be Solid Snakes. So hopefully we'll all be able to get together. And Jersey's bar is tight, man. Really nice place. Great beers. Good food. About 15 screens. Just looks tight, man. It's off like 3rd and Third and Crescent Heights. So anyway, hope some of you guys can make it. Happy Yom Kippur. I don't know if we really say that, but I did it. And anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later. And congrats to all the winners, and boo-hoo to all of the losers. Peace.